excited, does not want to lose.
Brady drops back, throws to Brock Rodgers. Throws the end zone. Touchdown! Cam Newton to throw, different pass, end zone.
What can't you do, young man? What can't you do?
What's up, everybody? DJ Bucky here with Move the Sticks. And Buck, let's talk about some quarterbacks. And I want to go through a little bit of a project we used to do at training camp in Baltimore. You're sitting around the table at training camp, you got nothing but time. And we started thinking and started just kind of spitballing here and saying, okay, I'm going to give you a quarterback for one play, one drive, one game, and then we'll think about the future. You get one quarterback for the next 10 years. Can't repeat your answers, so you only get one choice, and you can't reuse that player.
A lot of rules.
There's a lot of rules here, but I'm telling you, it's a good exercise. I'm going to let you take the floor first, though. You get a quarterback for one play. Who is it?
One play game on the line, I want Ben Roethlisberger to be my quarterback. Critical situations. I love his improvisational ability. His ability to make plays from the pocket. He can deliver the teardrop down the boundary. There we see him hitting Darius Haywood-Bay. He also can throw quick rhythm things. Here we see another play to Antonio Brown. What I like about him, though, is I don't have to call the perfect play because he has the ability to extend plays. And he doesn't extend them to run. He extends them to pass. We see so many of their big plays come when he scrambles around, finds a way to buy time for his receivers to uncover. In a critical moment, I want a guy that can do that because I know he takes some of the pressure off me to call the perfect play.
No, I love Ben Roethlisberger, what he brings. Guys bounce off him in the pocket. He's tough to get on the ground. But my choice, I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. And the reason why I'll say Aaron Rodgers is a lot of the same reasons you talk about with Big Ben, being able to extend the play. Whereas Ben is always going to be looking to throw it, Aaron Rodgers could turn around and run the ball for that first down as well. And then the ability to dissect the defense quickly, get the ball out of his hands with plenty of velocity and accuracy. You see him here extend the play and throw a dime down the field. These are all third down throws from him. You give me 3rd and 6, you give me 3rd and 11, I don't care. I want number 12 from Green Bay because of the accuracy, the decision-making, the process ability, as well as the athletic ability he brings to the table.
Well, I mean, he's a complete player. He's everything that you want in position. Technically, he's a dual-threat quarterback. He's a guy that can make plays with his legs, but also can dice you with his arm. He's a terrific choice. I'm going to go with the bigger player right now because I love Big Ben.
All right, now we got to drive. We're starting at our own 20. We got to get a touchdown. We got to go 80 yards to win a football game. You've taken Ben Roethlisberger off the table. Who's your quarterback?
I'm going to go with the king of the rings. That is Tom Brady. Tom Brady, to me, is a guy that I want in a critical, crucial situation where we're on our own 20. We have to go the length of the field with or without timeouts. This is a guy that has always done it. In his career, 46 game-winning drives. He's the master at understanding how to play situational football. Taking a look at him against the Steelers when they need to put the game on ice, he continues to make plays. There we see him finding Rob Gronkowski down the seam. He understands what you're trying to do to him, and he also understands how to exploit the weakness of the coverage that you throw at him. Whether you blitz, whether you elect to cover, he's going to make the right decisions, and that judgment is essential to being a guy that can execute in a 2-minute drive. I'm going with Tom Brady.
Yeah, I saved Tom Brady for a little bit later on. But before I give you my choice for my one drive, I figure we look at some data and see what the numbers prove out when we look at game-winning drives.
I feel like you're loading up an argument.
See, I saved this for you. Look at the very top there. Matt Ryan. I don't think a lot of people would have predicted that since 2012. Matty Ice.
How about that?
Matty Ice for a reason. But you look at number 2 on that list, Tony Romo. And that's my guy, your son's former favorite football player before he jumped off the bandwagon. I got to drive. I need to go 70, 80 yards. I want Tony Romo because, again, we talk about the ability to extend plays, make things happen, poise, and believe it or not, clutch. Something we heard Tony Romo was not year after year after year. The numbers bear out something differently. And when you watch him, his ability to me to slow the game down when things get crazy around him, to be able to slow everything down, to be smooth, gets in trouble, gets some pressure, he doesn't panic, he delivers strike after strike, time after time. I would go with Tony Romo.
I think he's underrated. I think he's underrated in terms of what he's done for the Cowboys. He has essentially carried that offense for the last few years, and a lot of people didn't realize how much of a burden he was bearing until they've seen him out this stretch. Now we're seeing how much they miss him. He is a guy that should be always categorized as one of the elite players at the position.
All right, so I made you go first without seeing the data. And now this time I figure on this next category for one game, before you make your selection, I'll give you some data. We'll go ahead at passer rating right now this season. Look at the top of that list. Tom Brady, Andy Dalton.
How about Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton's in the MVP talk now.
Andy Dalton.
Legitimately
Andy
an MVP.
Dalton.
candidate, but you've got one game. You've got a couple guys off your board right now. Who would you go for one game?
Well, I'm going to go with the guy that's listed at number 3, Aaron Rodgers, because even though he's number 3 on that board, he's number 1 in my heart in terms of being able to play the game in a fashion that is always conducive to winning. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. And if the game is at home, I know we're winning because that's what he does at Lambeau. Efficient, gets the ball out of his hands, makes great decisions, accuracy, ball placement, arm talent. Then you add in the running skills. He is the best quarterback in the game today. If I'm playing a do-or-die game, I want Aaron Rodgers to be my quarterback.
All right, so this is for one game, Buck.
One game.
And one game, what would you say the most important game of the year is on an NFL calendar?
Well, I mean, if it's the Super Bowl.
It's a Super Bowl. How many of those Super Bowl rings does Aaron Rodgers have?
He only has one.
He has one.
He's saving them. He's saving them for later.
The guy I'm going to go with has 4, and if his defense could get a stop, he'd have 6. So we're talking about big games. I got to go Tom Brady for the one game. That's why I saved him for this spot right here, because when you get on the big stage, doesn't matter. You talk about AFC Championship games, it's done. It's a lock. He's got it done. You want to talk about emotional games? No big deal. We saw one in Indianapolis last week. The man feels no pressure. Buck, he thrives on the big stage. You look at this game here against the Buffalo Bills. This is Rex Ryan talking all that trash. This is the best defense I've ever had. We can't play, can't wait to play Tom Brady. All he does is throw for half 1,000 yards. So big stage, big moments. Tom Brady, his skill set, he has everything. He can't run. I guess that's the one thing he's missing. But outside of that, the guy could go down as the best ever. That's not hyperbole. That's a fact.
No, that is a fact. And I think the one common denominator between the guys that we're talking about, they all utilize every area of the field. Tom Brady throws it deep. He works the intermediate zones. Also is willing to take the check down. Because of that, he's efficient. He sustained drives. And in critical moments, he's done it. He has a reputation. That's why I had him as a guy that I want. That final drive, I understand you want to take it to the game.
I wanted to save him for my game. Now we're going to take a look towards the future here. And I guess, by the way, Back to the Future stuff, I get it. It was a great movie. I loved it. But let's back off on Twitter a little bit. It's a little bit overkill. For the next 10 years, you get one quarterback, Bucky. Who you taking?
Contrary to popular belief, I know everyone wants to say that this guy is a guy that should be the future, and that's Andrew Luck. But no. I'm going to go with someone who I think is going to be a better player for the longer term, and I'm going to say that's Cam Newton. Cam Newton, to me, is a guy that is kind of the wave of the future at the position. Dual-threat quarterbacks are the rage in high school and college. He is the premier dual-threat quarterback in this game. 36 rushing touchdowns since 2011. That ranks only behind Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch. You're talking about two guys who are known to get it done and put it in the paint. He can do that. He has grown as a pocket passer, a guy that can deliver dimes. We saw against the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, threaded the needle, made a touchdown play to Greg Olsen. He is the guy that is growing into what the new prototype of the position will be. I'm going to take Cam Newton over the next 10 years. He's the guy that I'm building around.
Well, I'm a big Cam Newton fan. I love him. I love the size and the physical toughness he brings and the leadership that he has. But I've got to go Andrew Luck, Buck. And we look at progress and you're trying to project where people are going. Andrew Luck has taken that next step each and every year. Culminating last year, them getting to the AFC Championship game. We know how that ended. But he has continued to improve. I know the interceptions are up a little this year, and that has some people alarmed. I think the shoulder is a little more dinged than people know. But I'm going to get toughness, accuracy, leadership, mobility, everything you want in a quarterback. Andrew Luck gives you that. And as the offensive line, hopefully, over his career continues to get better, I think we're going to see Andrew Luck not only play at a championship level, he's going to play at an MVP level in this league.
Well, he's a nice choice, and he has all the things that you look for at the position, the intelligence, the athleticism, the arm talent. Also, he's been surrounded by some players on the outside that will allow him to really ascend and become a great player. Imagine if Cam was afforded the same luxury and opportunities to throw the ball to some legitimate pass catchers outside of Greg Olsen. I think it's a neck-and-neck battle for those guys over the next decade.
But this tells you, though, the names we have here, it tells you that we still have some other good quarterbacks out there. No Peyton Manning. Obviously, he's slid off the map a little bit. Phillip Rivers does not make the cut as well. He's having an MVP-type season. No slight, man. And Eli, we apologize. Anyways, DJ Bucky here for Move the Sticks. You can check out all of our content, NFL.com/podcast, as well as YouTube.com/NFL.